Hiya and welcome to another game tutorial. This time we're going to make a top-down game in GameMaker. So we're going to start off by using Kenny's assets. So Kenny and L. And that will allow us to get the 2D game assets. So we're going to use, let's have a look. I think we're probably going to use the tiny dungeon set. So something like this, which will allow us to make a really good dungeon like this with minimal effort. So go to this tile set and download it. And then what we'll do is we'll show that in the file system. I'm just going to unzip that. And then we'll have Kenny NL. Not sure where it has put it. Let's see if we can find it. Let's have a look. Where has it gone? Kenny Tiny Dungeon. So when you open that up, you'll have some different folders with some different textures in, and we need the tile map. There's two different versions. There is a normal version, and they have small spaces between the tiles, and then there is a new version, another version with no spaces. So we're going to use the one with no spaces. So it's called Tile Map Packed. I'm just going to put that on the other monitor a second. Okay, so now we've got that, we're going to open GameMaker and we're going to start a new project. So a new blank project, we'll call it Tiny Dungeon. And then let's start it. So in your blank project, the first thing we're going to want to do is get this sprite loaded in for the map. So find sprites on this side and then right click, create sprite. And this will give you a blank sprite. Now, before we even start, we're going to name this S tiles. So the naming convention is that we're going to use S to denote a sprite, and this will help later. And then we're going to import an image, and then we're going to find that tile map folder and import the packed tiles. It says it's not an undoable action. Click yes, and now we have the tile set, well, the sprites for the tile set. All good. I am going to edit one thing in this tile set, and when we actually make the tiles, this top tile is going to be used to clear tiles off. So actually I want this brown tile, so I'm just going to put it probably at the bottom there. So I'm just going to click edit image, and I'm just going to select the selection tool. I'm also going to turn on grid snapping. It says 16 by 16 on here. If it says 32, change it because it is 16. And I'm just going to select that one square. I'm going to copy it, and that will make a brush up here. And then I can actually just paste it there. So that's that done. So we can just close that down. And then what we're going to do from there is we're going to click tile sets, right click, create a tile set. So I'm going to call this T main tiles, no spaces. I'm going for the sprite, we're going to pick S tiles, the sprite sheet we've just made. And what should happen is it should auto detect the sort of size of these tiles. So you can see here it says tile width 16 and tile height 16. If that's different, you need to change it. So this will give us each tile. You can see each character and object is in its own tile. So now I've got a tile set. Let's deal with the room. So right click on the room, create room. And we're just going to leave this. Oh, we've got two now. We're going to need two anyway. Sorry. Delete room. I keep forgetting that it makes one automatically. It does that with the rooms. Yeah, we're going to use room 1. So just ignore everything I've just said. And what we're going to want to do, first of all, is we're going to want to add a tile there. Now I'm going to add the tile, click on the background and then add a tile layer above it, but below the instances layer. So we've got tiles -_1, and then it says here in the room editor, tile set. We're going to choose our tile set, and that should alter the grid size to 16 by 16. Change it if it doesn't. It should lock it to whatever this tile set is. And as you can see, we've got the tile set and we've got the blank tile in that corner, which is why we put that one there. Now, these graphics are very small. They're that big. So what we're going to want to do is make a smaller map and then zoom in and then scale the map up. So I'm going to set the room up here. So it says the width is 1366 pixels. So I'm going to want to change that. And the way I do that is go to viewports and cameras, click enable viewports, and then click on viewport 0 and click visible. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to change the width and the height. Now these tiles are 16, so let's have a look. Let's get the old calculator out. So if these squares are 16, let's say we've got 16 squares times 16 pixels, so that's 256 across. So I'm just going to put 256 as the width of my game, and you can see now the game's a lot smaller. I need to do the height. You can do whatever you like, really. I'm going to do, let's try 14 squares times 16 pixels, 224. Okay, let's try 224, 224. It's a fairly square game. That might be exactly what you want. So that's fine. If I run the game now, we're going to get a big window with a very small game. So what we need to do is change the camera so it's just looking at this. So inside the viewport, put the width as 256, what we've just calculated, and it'll match the camera, and then the height is 224. So now what we'll have is we'll have a game that's just the same size but really stretched out. That's not what we want. What we want to do is scale it properly. So again, we're going to need our calculator. So the width of the game is 256. So I'm going to make it 3 times bigger. So I'm going to times it by 3, 768. So I'm going to change the viewport properties. Let me just move that up so you can see it, to 768. And then for the height, I'm going to do 224 times 3, 672. 672. And now when I run it, the game should be 3 times bigger. Okay, that's okay. So now we've got a much better view of the game. So that's fine. Right, let's zoom in It probably looks quite small on my screen because this is in 4K. So that will take up quite a big portion of a normal resolution screen. So first thing I'm going to do with my tiles is I'm going to just paint out everything on my level. So if you're not sure how the tile set works, what you might need to do is go to the web page and have a look at the example, and it might give you some ideas how the tile set works. So the ground is actually the lighter part. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to particularly do anything fancy. I'm just going to make a very basic level, just something maybe like this, maybe just something very basic, maybe even like that. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, does it? Something like that will do. So then I need to look at my walls. So this can be a little bit confusing depending on how you've done. So I'm going to start off with these walls here, and these go on the inside like this, as though we're looking from the top. And then we're going to want these on the top. So let's have a look. There we go. There we go. And then these, we're probably going to want these ones here. This one here. So you'll just have to play around with it a bit to make sure you know which pieces you're going to use, and then you can actually start building it up. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think these ones help here, like that. I'll use a bit of shadow, and we start to build the map up, and then you can change bits of it, add bits of details in, whatever you like really. Let's put a bit of detailing in there. Let's put that there, and let's add a door. Something like this. You can see how that would work. Then along the bottom we use these ones. The sides we use these. This side we use this one. Then we need that one. This one. And then for this, I believe we're going to need that and that one. So you might have to play around a little bit to get the right pieces for this, just so you can make your level. Something like that will do. Oh, I've missed one piece off. Okay, and another piece. So we've now got a level completely done. I think that will be all we need. So the room's done. The next thing to do is make some of the other assets we're going to need for this game. So in sprites, I want you to create a new sprite. And this time we're going to edit the size and make it 16 by 16. Click apply, click edit, and we're going to pick red, and we're going to double click on red and change the opacity down so it's fairly low, about 1/3 of the way. Then fill that with that red there, and then once you double click on that, we can rename it. We'll call it S wall. And what we're going to do now is we're going to block out the walls for the game. So we're going to use this for collision. So to do that, we're going to make an object. So we're going to right click on object, create object, and we're going to call this object O wall. O for object, and then the sprite will be the S wall, the sprite wall. We're then going to go to the room and we're going to make a new instance layer. So we'll click on the top, create a new instance layer, and I'm just going to rename this layer and call it walls or solid or something similar. Click on your assets and then drag, make sure you're selected on that layer, click one of the walls, and then we can add it in. Now, one thing you might notice is the grid size is wrong. So just change the grid size back because the default is 32. And now we've got the grid here. So what really we want to do is we want to put a wall down and then block it off like this. So we're creating a wall around the map that the player won't be able to walk through. So we're just blocking it off. I mean, we could do that. That'll be fine. Go all the way across. So we're just blocking the map in. Let's have a look. I guess we could make this taller as well. Doesn't matter if they overlap. And then this one could, whoops, cancel. What have I done? Dragged the sprite instead of the wall. So that one there. So this is an area that the player cannot go. So we've totally enclosed the playable area, so we can hide that. We're going to put it on for now so we can see it. But that's roughly how we want it to be. So yeah, that's the that's the walls done. Let's make the player. So we're going to make a new sprite. So click on sprites, right click, new sprite. We'll call this sprite S player. And then we're going to change the size. All the sprites are 16 by 16. So what we're going to do is click on the main tiles to open it up. And then we're going to, that's the tile set, click on the tiles, edit the image, and we're going to zoom in and you can pick a character. So whichever one you want, I'm going to pick this one. Seems to, if snapping becomes a pain, just turn it off. We need the grid on, but the snapping, you can turn it off if it's a pain. Get your character, copy it, and again it should appear in here, and then we can paste it in. Click on your S player, edit the image, and then you should be able to click on that player again and put the player down. So now we've got a player sprite. So the other thing we want to do is I'm going to make a door as well. So a door, like a hidden portal for the door. So let's create another sprite. This one is also going to be 16 pixels. Apply that. Then going to edit the image. I'm going to get a green, and I'm going to lower the opacity on the green again, and I'm going to paste that in. That's going to be a hidden portal for the door. So I'm going to rename that sprite, rename S door. So we've got a door, a player, a tile, a wall. We need a couple more things. I'm going to create another sprite. We'll call this S potion. So again, I'm going to go just edit this size of this object, 16 pixels. I'm then going to go into my main tile sprite and I'm going to edit that image. I'm going to pick, you could do a key or a treasure, whatever you want. Copy that, go into my potion, edit the image, click on the potion icon, and there we go, potion. The last one to do is we're going to create another sprite, S bat, and then we're going to open the size, change the size to 16 pixels, apply, open the sprite sheet again, edit the image, and again you can pick whichever creatures you want. I'm just doing a bat. You could do a bat, a ghost, a spider, draw your own. This is just to demonstrate how you could do it. So I'm clicking on the bat sprite, and then again at the top we can paste the bat in there. That should be it for the sprites. So I think that would be a good point to leave the video, and we'll come back for part 2 where we do all the game logic and make it work. So I will see you in the next video.